Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm of course your host Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good Saturday night. It is bloody freezing. I was going to swear, but I'm not. It is bloody freezing outside, being the end of October here in Alberta. If where you are it is cold, please bundle up if you're going out tonight. And also, being the Halloween weekend, I know people are having their parties maybe last night, Friday night, and tonight being Saturday night. If you do have a party, if you're on your way to a party, please be safe, look after yourselves, look after each other, have fun. Not too much fun, if you know what I mean, but have fun nonetheless. Now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to be doing an album review. Okay. This is an album that just came out yesterday. This is forgive the glare, the latest release from Duran Duran called Danse Macabre. Yes, it is pronounced Macabre. This is the band's 16th release through BMG Management. This is their follow-up to the release of Future Past from 2021. It was produced by Duran Duran, Josh Blair, and an individual by the name of Mr. Hudson, obviously a stage name. It clocks in around 50 minutes even, or 50 minutes and 7 seconds, depending on where you get your information from. It comes in various formats. It comes in standard CD format. It comes in double album 45 RPM format. And I'm just going to show you briefly how this version, how it comes in, okay? As you can see, the individuals of the band are to be attending a seance. This is a 4-paneled CD digipack. See the flap there? My apologies. As I flip this up, show it to you. Each individual takes up a panel on this digipack, and the CD sits in the tray in the center. As I said, this album, when it was advertised, I should say, when it was advertised, it was given the theme of it being the marketing angle of it being a Halloween themed album. I first heard of this album coming out in August. I did pre-order my copy, but Amazon, as of the 26th, the day before release date, it was not. They weren't giving me an expected arrival time for the CD. So Bob, who I live with, picked up my copy at our local record store, Sunrise Records in West Edmonton Mall. I want to thank everybody at West Edmonton Mall and Sunrise for helping him out with that. This album for me is very much, I should say, a return to form for the band. There are 13 tracks, 3 of which are new. And there are 3 singles released from the album. They are the title track, Danse Macabre. There's a video for it. Check it out on YouTube. Very interesting video. The second track is Black Moonlight. And the third single so far is the remake of the Talking Heads track, Psycho Killer. I'll get into the track listing in a second. On this album, you have the return of Andy Taylor, guitarist who had left the band in the mid-'80s and returned in 2004, then left again in 2006. He plays guitar on 10 of the 13 tracks, so he makes his return in a big way. You also have, playing on the album, Warren Cucurullo, who basically took over for Andy Taylor in the mid-'80s and stayed with them for years and left to rejoin Missing Persons. You also have playing on the album Dominic Brown, who is a touring guitarist for them. Nile Rodgers of Chic fame and producer of many albums like A Virgin, Let's Dance, Black Tie, White Noise. He plays guitar on two tracks and has a songwriting credit on Black Moonlight. So the idea for this album came about on Halloween of 2022. The band were performing in Vegas. They were dressed in costume, and they basically just did a set of covers and older tracks from their catalog that they hadn't played in years. So they just decided, I think it was Nick Rhodes who had the idea to go in the studio with these tracks and pick other songs and just basically record them. We rework, sorry, some of the older stuff from the catalog and see what would come out of it. And listening to this album, I've listened to it 5 times in 2 days. It is good. It is Duran Duran, basically, in my very humble opinion, returning to form. As I said, there are 13 tracks, and the album starts off with Night Boat from the debut from 1981. This is a more stripped down version, heavier drums. Roger Taylor playing on this album is pretty much in the pocket on every single track that he plays on. I gotta tell you. It's a stripped down version. The original is about 5 minutes, 20 seconds, and this is about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So they take off about a minute. Next up is Black Moonlight, co-written with the band and now Rogers. Funky is all bloody get out. Hell of a dance track. Good rhythm, good solid, backing track with drums and bass. Funky guitar from Nile Rodgers. He plays guitar on the verses, and Andy Taylor plays guitar on the choruses. Bloody hell. Just melodic, catchy, ass shaking. You're going to hear me say that a lot with this album. My only gripe about the track is that it's too short. It's 3 minutes and 7 seconds. It's basically, I don't want to say basically, but in terms of song structure, it's verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, fade out. They needed to extend a couple of verses, maybe add a third verse, extend a bridge here and there, repeat it, and just make it like a 5 minute plus ass shaking dance track. There is a 7 minute plus extended edit club mix of this track on YouTube. You can check it out. But there should be at least a 9 minute version of Black Moonlight, I swear to God. Coming up next, after Black Moonlight, track 3 is a reworking of the track Love Voodoo from Pop Trash from 2000. Their only release with Hollywood Records, featuring Warren Cucurulo back on guitar. Very melodic, very catchy, very infectious with the groove on it. It's just great. It's fantastic. Next up is a remake of the track from Billie Eilish, Bury a Friend. Listening to it in the car a couple of times, it's very bass heavy, very bass driven. Bloody hell. A lot of atmospheric keyboards on this track too from Nick Rhodes. He does do a good job. Fantastic. And again, very bottom heavy, very bass heavy and bass driven. Fantastic version of this track. Next up is a funky version of a track called Supernature. After that is the title track Danse Macabre. Very good track, very atmospheric. There is a video for it on YouTube. You can check it out. It's a mid-tempo track, and some people have complained about Simon Le Bon doing the verses in sort of a rap form. But you know what? It's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's not over the top, right? And there are claps leading into on the bridges leading into the choruses to keep it all together. It's very rhythmic, very catchy. Again, very moody, very moody. After Danse Macabre, you have a track called Secret October 31st. Now, this is a remake of a track called Secret October, which was the B-side to the release, a single of Union of the Snake. And this track, the original track, was made up on the fly. The story goes was that they were in Australia in 1983. Capital EMI at the time it was Capital in the US. They wanted the next single for the next album because the next album, Seven in the Ragged Tiger, was due out in November of 1983. So they basically did the track, mixed it, sent Union of the Snake by FedEx to New York to have it mastered, I think by Bob Ludwig, and have it sent to the record company. The record company called them, "Where's the B-side?" They didn't even come up with the B-side. So basically, Nick Rhodes and the rest of the guys stayed up all night long to did a 24-hour marathon to come up with Secret October. And having, the fact that they were working on these other tracks, this track just seemed to fit in as if, into the theme of the album. And it's always been a fan favorite. I never heard of it up until this album here. So it's very atmospheric, very moody, very textured in terms of the keyboards, very atmospheric. So yeah, no, it fits it perfectly. After Secret October, you have a track called Ghost Town, which is written by Jimmy Damers from The Specials, and they do a version of it, really good. Next up is the version of Paint It Black from the Rolling Stones, and they gave it more of a modern spin, but they keep the basic structures of the verses and the choruses the same. It's just they give it more of a bounce to it in terms of the track, in terms of the drum tracks. Very, again, bottom heavy, fantastic. After Paint It Black, you've got a cover of a track called Super Lonely Freak. Now, what this is a mashup of a track from Rio, side 2, second track, called Lonely in Your Nightmare. And they mash it up with Super Freak from Rick James. But what they do is the first half of the song is a remake of Lonely in Your Nightmare. Heavy, clearer drums, good solid playing, really, again, Roger Taylor's in the pocket on this one. And around the 2:35 mark, or exactly at the 2:35 mark, they segue into Super Freak. And it's a good version. It is a good version. Could have been a bit longer. Yeah, I think it could have been at least 5 minutes longer, but it's fine. It's good. After Super Lonely Freak, you have their version of Spellbound from Susie and the Banshees. I did a video on Susie and the Banshees album Juju, which features Spellbound from 1984 or 1981. Sorry. Please check out that video. It's fantastic. This version of Spellbound is quite good. It keeps to the original, but heavier drums, more prominent drums. It doesn't have the percussion breaks that the original has, which I think would have just added to it. Not made it better, but just sort of enhanced it, just to give it more dynamics, right? I think it would have been great. Fantastic track. The next track, track 12, is their version of Psycho Killer from Talking Heads. Now, this is the third release, as I said, from the album. Roger Taylor, and it is in the pocket on the drums. He is solid. This track features Victoria De Angelis on bass, and it is bloody amazing. Those two together, they're in the pocket. They keep the track moving, and Simon Le Bon's vocal on this track is just beautiful. Just nailed it. There's no complaints. I mean, there's no errors on this track. Beautiful, just amazing. The last track is called Confessions in the Afterlife. This is a very somber, moody, atmospheric, dark track talking about, are we forgiven for our transgressions in the, um, when we pass, when we cross over to the other side? Will you see me on the other side? Will I see you? Will we be reunited? This is very much in keeping in the same frame of mind as the track Missing from Arcadia's album So Red the Rose. And I also did a video on So Red the Rose on Arcadia on the channel a few months back. So please check that video out. It's very moody, very atmospheric, dark, eerie, and sad. And Simon Le Bon does a fantastic vocal on this track. Very emotional, very emotional. So yeah, that's the album. Here it is again. Duran Duran, Confessions. Oh, sorry. Danse Macabre. I was going to say the title of the track, Confessions in the Afterlife. That's the last track in the album. Danse Macabre is the name of the album. Please check it out. You can get this on Amazon for around $30. You can get it at your local record store for no more than $20. You can also stream this on YouTube. You can get the album in its entirety on YouTube. Please, once you have listened to the album, put your comments down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the album. Do you like Duran Duran? Do you not like Duran Duran? Do you think that Duran Duran are just fluff? On a personal note, I don't think so, because if you listen to their catalog, they mix the more dance-oriented tracks along with more ambient, darker themed textured keyboards and stuff in terms of the music that they put out. So please check out Danse Macabre and let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will be doing a show coming up with Bill Schuster. Peter Kent cannot make it due to a personal emergency. So it'll be Bill and I doing the show tonight. We are tackling our top 10 cuts, top 10 deep cuts from Queen. So no greatest hits, no Bohemian Rhapsody, no Under Pressure, nothing. All it is our top 10 deep cuts. So please stick around for that. I'll be doing a show with Ryan Gavalier, and we'll be talking about Stevie Nicks' Belladonna, her first solo studio release. We're going to be doing an album discussion about that. So please stick around for that. Also, other videos coming up with Stephen Newbold, who's going to be coming on the show for the first time. We're going to be talking about the Jam. He's a big fan of the Jam. So we're going to be tackling it for me as a new music discovery, because I've only heard one track from the Jam. So he's going to give me his insights as to what he loves about the band and why should I take time to discover the group. So that's coming up on Monday. So please stick around for new videos. Again, please, if you are going out tonight, please look after yourselves. Okay, have fun, but not too much fun. And please be responsible and be safe. So I will talk to you soon. Have a good night.